Let's cover off Service Health and Azure, folks. I just wanted to cover this at a high level because there has been things happen in the cloud industry recently there, AWS and Azure. We'll not go into those, but it just pricked up my ears with regards to, issues that are happening inside my tenant, as well as issues that happen outside it, folks, and how I can best utilize the tools at hand to fault find those and get services back online as quickly as possible. What we're looking at here is Service Health, folks. And if you're not sure where to find this here, if you just type in Service, and it'll come up here, Service Health, and you can bounce into it there. If you wanted to, sort of bookmark it, if you come to home here, hover over Service Health and just star it, folks. It'll appear in the blade on the left, and then you can drag it to where you want it. I've got it here at the top, so it's handy there if someone reaches out and want help fault finding things. So if again I click on it there, I'll come to this view here, folks, and what it's given is a high-level overview of the Azure regions throughout the world, and if there's any unhealthy regions, it's going to flag up here, given the little triangle here of affected locations, but everything's online healthy at the moment. What we do, like as a bit of a quick go-to here, is come to this dashboard, but to complement that there, you might want to look at a specific resource outside of it, and I utilize this down detector. It's not a be all end all, and I wouldn't fully rely on it. But whenever things happened in the wider internet recently, folks, I came in here, and you can go to things like Azure here, and just have a look at it and see if there's been any issues. We can see here that there's not. There's only one report there, and it's probably someone that maybe did a fat finger error. Once you click on it here, it alerts and registers an outage on there, and then these little graphs spike accordingly. But that's another little tool you might want to add to your arsenal, folks. I'm using the Australian version here. It will alert you if you're in the wrong region to utilize the one applicable to your region. But to be honest, this would be the go-to, folks, just to see actually what's going on inside the Azure infrastructure throughout the world. All right. If you then want to go and look at resources, folks, within your subscriptions, you can come in here. Here I've got my Visual Studio Professional subscription, and for example, if I wanted to go look at a specific resource, if someone said, hey, one of our storage accounts are down, I'll come in here and I'll search for storage accounts. It'll be under the alphabetical list here, folks. So if I click on storage accounts, I can see all my storage accounts are good to go. If I click on the top one here, it's just giving me a bit more of an enriched experience. It's telling me this is available. It's the health history, folks. If I come back to the dashboard there is a health history there of, the global health and anything that's actually happened in the past. I just need to change the filter here. If I go for the last month, just let it run again, you can see like these incidents that have happened in the past. You can click into them and they'll have an all singing and dancing process, a bit of an after action review type thing, which is always good to learn from. What happened, what went wrong, and why, and how did they respond. And possibly this might tie into how you make your infrastructure as resilient as possible, folks. Obviously working off the Azure best practices as well, the well architected infrastructure. But if I come back to the Service Health dashboard, folks, again, just take note of like all these little boxes of where you want to go into here. You might want to look at planned maintenances that's upcoming, and get like different advisories as well. But these would be something you do in your own time there, and just have a bit of a click around. You're not going to break anything at all. It's all a learning experience, folks. Okay. And the other one that I would say that's quite useful as well, I have touched on it in the past, but that's Network Watcher. When you create like a VNet in any of your regions, there'll be an automated Network Watcher created, and that will give you a little suite of tools. This is it here, and it'll be those suite of tools will be native to that region. Each region will have one. You can disengage it as well or deallocate it, but it's automated to be done there when you create the VNet in that region. Anyway, folks, if you look here, there's a list of network diagnostic tools. I actually have an A4 sheet in the wall next to me, because if I look at them and be like, geez, what's my issue and what's the best tool I can use to find a fix for it. But if you click into them, it'll give you a quick descriptor anyway. The first one I've got here, like checks if traffic is allowed or denied by network security rules for a VM, and it's giving you the all singing and dancing drop downs here, telling you exactly what you need to select. You could utilize the CLI, folks, and run your all singing and dancing commands. Just note that some of the commands that would work outside the Azure infrastructure may not give you the same results inside the Azure infrastructure. So sometimes it's best just to run the native tools, because if you come to like next hop and we think about a native like command line command trace route, that gives us a list of our hops. This here, that wouldn't run similar to the way that this here would run in the native Azure infrastructure. It's on the Azure backbone. So just utilize these, folks, if you're looking to find out, all about your routes and where the next hop is, because this will help you best mitigate or find out where the issues are, specifically for whoever's reached out to you to help them fault find their issue. All right, but these are just some tools, folks. I would, err on the side of caution and bookmark them. I've got a 100 fault finding there, and I've just bookmarked these few things, folks. All right, there may be just obvious things going wrong when you get like an error, like a service like unavailable, and it's just an obvious thing that's going on. You can best cater for your customers like by utilizing like their feedback, because it might just be so obvious, like just restart your function app and it'll work again, just as it lets you in the Azure system. The other things as well that are available, like you've got logs, folks, available, and if we go to like a resource, for example, our function app, just as an example, come to this function app here and come down to the monitoring in the blade here, and we've got things like diagnostic settings that we can enable, folks, and my Azure policy set up to enable those, and they will get streamed to a log analytics workspace. We can go and run our queries and get an enriched experience in there about what's going on. Also, another little thing worth going to as well, folks, it's very good there if you've got like policy in place and someone's having difficulty deploying a resource. If you come to the activity log, this will give you the readout of like the policy that's blocking it, and you can see like issues in here. So that activity log's very useful. It's just like who did what and when. So yeah, if someone's tried to deploy a resource via Terraform even, it'll come up here for that API call. And this is definitely another useful little tool that I've seen people list. Someone said, oh, I'm having this issue, and someone's just gone to this here and said, hey, there's your problem, that policies blocking it, go fix your resource and make it compliant, and the next time they deployed it worked. So yeah, those little tools are useful, and they're native like in every resource, folks. Your monitoring might not be as enriched for each resource because things aren't required, so sometimes you might not get as many of these monitoring tools available to you, but they're definitely worth enabling if they aren't. Like the diagnostic settings need to be enabled to get them sent to a log analytics workspace so that you can run your queries on them. Your application insights as well, folks. Again, you want to be able to set these up here because they are a great tool I've found recently there, where someone was fault finding and then I said to them, could you tell me how you went about that? And they were able to say, you come to here. So app insights are a really good tool as well, folks. Okay, and the alerts as well, that'll obviously populate a dashboard. It goes without saying, having them set up like to be able to get automated alerts is just how you keep your infrastructure going, folks, and make everything as easy to follow and get everything back online as quickly as possible. But yeah, I've talked about a few different things there, folks. You probably, for some of you, used these before or utilized them in a better way than I've described them here. Or if you know of any other tools or procedures that you've used, share them. The collaboration's the way forward. But as always, I leave this one with you, and I'll wish you all the best. Take care and good luck.